Welcome to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio, where we challenge the fitness between your ears. I'm your host, Tiaja. I'm old enough to remember those picture puzzles where you had to find the hidden image within the picture, whether an animal or some inanimate object. Well, my daughter's generation may better relate to Where's Waldo. Remember that puzzle featuring the thick glasses wearing red striped shirt nerd who was hidden amidst a gazillion other images that appeared similar? And therein lies my point. They only appeared similar. Now today it appears that we're living in a picture puzzle that's constantly changing, shifting in meaning, and thus it's getting increasingly difficult to find the hidden images. For instance, what does it mean to be healthy anymore? If you follow the national media, it's become obvious. Anyone who doesn't have COVID-19 or has tested positive for it is considered healthy. But who gets to define what health should mean to you and me? And after all, as I've said a million times to clients and on these podcasts, health is not the absence of disease. So the other day I Googled the word health, and the first several options that appeared were corporate health organizations like Kaiser, Sutter Health, etc. But my question to you is, when did we allow those in power to hijack words as important to us all as health? They did the same thing to the word cure, didn't they? By the way, did you know that it is illegal to use the word cure? Why is that, do you suppose? You mean to tell me people don't get cured anymore? The fact is, people do get cured, but they've replaced the word cure with remission and survivor. Why remission? Why survivor? Well, let's start with why the word cure. Historically, a cure has always connoted finality, whereas remission is something temporary. That is, you are one fortuitous event from being afflicted again. Now, being a survivor is beautiful in its simplicity. You have survived something catastrophic. Still, being a survivor is also a constant reminder that you overcame whatever disease. So here's my point. Surviving a disease says nothing about health. And if you allow your focus to only be on surviving rather than thriving, then what are you telling your brain or emphasizing to all those trillions of healthy cells that prevailed in spite of the disease? Well, let me ask you a question. What would make us outsource the knowledge of our own bodies to someone else? See, consulting with your doctor is one thing. Seeking or relying solely on your doctor's advice is quite another. And if you're not putting all your faith and trust in your physician, you're putting your blind allegiance out there into cyberspace. After all, everything in the known universe exists online, doesn't it? At least that's how it seems. After all, the floor escalators featured in airports all around the country will get you to where you need to go, albeit slow, but they're not designed to get you in shape. Much like your smartphone is fun, and it can get you where you want to go via the internet, but it can't draw conclusions about what direction you should go, nor make decisions based on critical thought or analysis. Yet we have outsourced our thinking to those whom we feel know what's better for us because they are either rich or powerful or smarter or credentialed or certified, etc. You get my point. All the information in the world does nothing but overload and overwhelm the brain without the proper firing of the synapses of critical thinking. Wisdom is a word you seldom hear anymore because we have replaced wisdom with so-called facts. And though facts are necessary in accruing a base knowledge of how the world works, they do little or nothing to assist a deeper understanding. Facts ask the questions, what and when, while wisdom asks how and why. Facts give us answers. Wisdom makes us question. See, it's perfectly okay for a child to acknowledge it's raining and that the rain comes from the clouds, but an adult should have a higher, more fundamental understanding of how and why it rains, even what rain or drought means for all inhabitable life on the planet. Facts can provide measurements, which can be useful. However, wisdom provides measures which we can implement. Thus, your doctor can provide you a bunch of metrics to assess whether or not something is malfunctioning, but even that is based on a certain demographic, not on your bio-individuality. So today especially, we are suffering as much from misinformation as we are from information overload. Under normal circumstances, a new experience will express new neural activity in neurons in the brain. That is, if the brain is allowed to have some downtime. With downtime, the neurons make their way from the gateway of memory to the rest of the brain where long-term memory is stored. We are then able to record the memories of those new experiences, which is the basis of learning. Yet everywhere I go, I see people staring at their small screens, whether driving or not, as if they're compelled to look at their phones every few seconds. Perhaps many have become addicted to their phones. See, there's a growing body of evidence that suggests that if we never allow our minds to wander or to imagine or even to be bored for a moment, we pay a heavy price: poor memory, mental fog, and mental fatigue. But if you were simply to share those symptoms with your doctor, they would likely prescribe a cocktail of medication for you to take. And sadly, you would take those medications without questioning anything. You would trust that your doctor understands the facts about your symptoms better than you understand yourself. See, one of the lessons we should have learned before COVID-19 was that you can never afford to outsource your thinking to someone else, knowing that even the facts written in articles, books, and documentaries that are based on strong evidence and accepted as truth are completely reversed when a new study comes out. See, we must begin to understand that unless we clear our minds, relax, and allow for creativity, we will not only lose all of the calendar year 2020 to a virus, we will lose ourselves in the process. Dear friends, I wish above all things that you prosper just as your soul prospers. You've been listening to Urban X Real Talk Fitness Radio with your host, Tiaja. Until next week, as always, walk in health and peace.